Suppose the millions of people in the population depend on Social Security to survive with interdependence and density. To many, Social Security is much more than a form of security. It is the hope of a secure future life when they retire. It is help in case they cannot work. It is an assurance that they will not suffer. However, Social Security programs are at the receiving end of considerable challenges globally. These changes in demography, healthcare cost, and economy put the Social Security system at a crossroads. People naturally wonder how the Social Security system will look after 2 decades. Will it be there for the people in the future? Or will changes and cuts mean millions will be without? In this article, the context in which Social Security will be analyzed is the state of the future for Social Security globally. The focus will be on the problems these programs encounter, the strategies proposed by specialists and practitioners, and the effects on actual individuals. Whether you're within a decade or two from retirement, fresh out of college, or any other age, the future of Social Security affects everybody's interest. Part 2. Background. Social protection arrangements offered basic support to essential socially vulnerable life cycle periods. They envisioned helping those in their old age, but as the idea grew, they included people with disabilities and in situations of economic vulnerability. The welfare regimes of each country are dissimilar, with only some form of Social Security associated with retirement income and may contain health, involuntary joblessness, or family requirements. Social Security started in the 1930s, after the Great Depression in the United States. It aimed to support senior persons who could not generate income and were extremely poor. The U.S. government was forced to devise Social Security means to provide for people upon retirement. This concept spread quickly to other countries, particularly in Europe, where nations like the UK, Germany, and France developed similar programs. In Japan, it started as a pension to support older people and has expanded to cover medical expenses and unemployment. Social Security systems were established relatively later in developing countries, and their exponential expansion began in the post-globalized second millennium. China did not initiate its modern Social Security system until the 1990s, but within a few years, it had become part of millions of Chinese people's lives. However, many people have left college or are no longer accepted because the world has changed since the creation of these programs. When these Social Security programs began, life expectancy was low and families were large. This meant that many youthful employees were available to contribute towards supporting a few retirees. Presently, the percentage of life expectancy has improved in most regions globally. People live longer, birth rates have decreased, and families are smaller than before. This means that in most economies, there are more retirees than at any other time in the history of a given country, and there are few youths to support these senior citizens. Healthcare has also become very expensive, and the cost has been drastically increasing. Technological advances allow individuals to live long and healthy lives, but those advances are costly. Financial pressures are even higher for Social Security systems that offer healthcare benefits. Secondly, as with any body politic, we have a new economy and job market. Part-time employees or those with gig employment work without constant deposits to their Social Security funds, determining how much money is contributed to such systems. Overall, Social Security is under pressure. If changes are not made to these systems, they may not exist anymore, and millions will no longer receive the support they need. Part 3. Main Argument and Analysis. So, what might happen to Social Security over the next 20 years? Let's explore 3 main areas: financial sustainability, the impact of aging populations, and changes in benefits. Financial sustainability. The most significant concern every country implementing Social Security has is undoubtedly the financing problem. In most countries, Social Security is financed directly from taxes on workers. These tax credits are paid into a scheme that can provide benefits to anybody who is retired or is too sick or injured to work. However, in large part, because populations are becoming increasingly aged, fewer young adults are in the workforce contributing to the tax base, and more retirees are drawing on benefits. This results in a negative cash flow, or, in other words, a funding deficit, whereby more money is spent than is received. In Japan, for instance, the government has had to increase taxes and look for other ways to continue funding Social Security. However, it is still possible that Japan may need more time in the future, even with these measures in place. The Japanese government is trying to cut costs or get older adults to work more, but this is very difficult and may not close a shortfall. In the United States, analysts forecast that the Social Security Trust Fund, which supplements benefits, could be exhausted by the mid-2030s. If this occurs, the government would have to cover about 3/4 of promised benefits only if adjustments are made. This could translate to deep cuts in the assistance that pensioners and people with disabilities depend on, scaled by millions. The financial question is more significant for emerging economies, including Brazil, South Africa, and India. Many of these countries have young populations, but also have recurring problems of economic volatility. Large populations of the inhabitants of these countries are employed in the informal sector, where Social Security contributions cannot be made, and it is a challenge to provide such systems. Increasing the rate of taxation may not be effective, since the pinch of the rising pinch touches people today. Some think these countries might soon have to aim at increasing their established economy or devise new strategies of taxes to make Social Security viable. Nearly every country is searching for solutions concerning the issue of financial sustainability. Some ideas include raising the retirement age. In today's developed countries, people can get their Social Security at age 60, though governments plan to raise this age figure due to longevity. This would mean that while people contribute for many more years, the benefits are few and Social Security becomes expensive. Increasing taxes on higher incomes. Some ideas include raising taxes on high-end users and ingredients or the whole. For example, in the United States, there is a limit on income taxation for Social Security. Therefore, should the government find this limit unfavorable, it can raise more revenue to supplement the system. Expanding workforce participation. Some jurisdictions are considering how they might raise employment. Thus, more people, especially women, might otherwise have had little chance. Therefore, by increasing the employment rate of those targeted nations, they are well placed to mobilize more revenues to finance Social Security. Each of these solutions has flaws and advantages which are peculiar to them. Quite a few issues are linked to this. For instance, where people employed in physically straining jobs cannot continue working for several more years. Taxes cannot be implemented quickly, are not well received every time, and shift more responsibility to the employees. Increased workforce involvement holds societal and economic challenges that must be solved to achieve the results needed. The impact of aging populations. Many factors could influence Social Security, one of which is population aging. This is the case, and even in many developed countries today, people live longer while having few children. This leads to many older adults with little legs on whom the burden will be placed, and few youngsters will be contributing to the system. For example, over 35% of the Japanese population is predicted to be 65 years old and older in 2040. Therefore, this changing demographic trend of graying the population places much pressure on Social Security. The country has been looking at how it can convince people past retirement age to continue working. And while this is good, only a limited number of people will be affected. Europe has the same problem. The populations of countries like Germany, Italy, and Spain are aging, and the birth rate is low. The government of Germany has, for instance, attempted to solve this problem by allowing immigration. It further notes that Germany plans to help its Social Security system by attracting young workers from other countries. Nevertheless, immigration is a burning problem in contemporary society, and people don't always approve it. The country that wanted its population to grow slowly for years due to the one-child policy is now experiencing the consequences of the demographic transition. China's population is rapidly aging. The government wants families to have more children. However, changing people's beliefs and behaviors is challenging. Most youths in China live in very complicated financial environments and do not want prominent families. Consequently, China might experience a strained Social Security system for decades. An aging population will increase healthcare expenditures as senior citizens require more health services. In countries with health insurance systems, such cost outlays are met from Social Security money. This is so because increasing healthcare costs complicate the already strained healthcare systems of Social Security systems. Changes in benefits. Many nation-states are adjusting the forms and methods of payment to keep the Social Security systems viable. These changes can range significantly and entail lowered monthly payments or a more liberalized use of benefits. For instance, in Sweden, one can work less than 30 hours per week in the engagement while still getting partial Social Security benefits. This system makes people work longer in the current workforce, thus helping to ease the strain on Social Security. On the other hand, other countries, like the UK, have been slowly increasing the age of the community to which one has to begin to receive such benefits, and there are even talks of further adjustments to this age. Another issue at present in the United States is whether benefits should be cut or whether they should be means-tested and taken from those who require Social Security most of the time. This could well lower costs, but it would alter the description of Social Security and make it less indeed a society-wide phenomenon. Some countries are also considering options for people to start funding their pensions instead of having the entire program administered by the government. Grossman pointed out that Chile undertook this approach in the 1980s. Although the policy has saved billions of dollars for the government, some face challenges in financing their retirement. Privatization may be dangerous, since it depends on the performance of personnel in saving and investing money. Some low-income earners need help to make suitable investments. These changes are complex, and they impact millions of households. Removing some benefits threatens retirees with poverty, and increasing the retirement age challenges the old employee, physically straining workers included. This means that privatization poses a considerable risk to people because of the need for adequate money saving or the loss of value in invested modes of earnings. All these approaches have their strengths and weaknesses. Depending on these, governments must consider the consequences on the people. Number 4. Counter-arguments. Despite the challenges, there are reasons to believe that Social Security can remain sustainable. Many experts argue that while reforms are needed, there are solutions that could keep Social Security strong without sacrificing the support it provides. Let's look at a few promising approaches. Encouraging immigration and workforce growth. In countries with aging populations, immigration can bring younger workers who contribute to the economy and pay into Social Security systems. Countries like Canada, Germany, and the UK have seen positive results from policies that welcome immigrants, helping to fill jobs and boost economic growth. Immigration, however, can be a controversial solution. In some countries, there are concerns about the cultural and social impacts of large-scale immigration, and governments must balance these concerns with the economic benefits. Boosting productivity through technology. Technological advancements, particularly in automation and artificial intelligence, offer a way to increase productivity. If fewer workers can produce more goods and services thanks to technology, economies can grow even with a shrinking workforce. For example, automation in manufacturing and agriculture has made it possible to produce more with fewer people, potentially increasing tax revenues that fund Social Security. However, technology also brings challenges, such as job displacement, affecting people's ability to contribute to Social Security. Flexible retirement and workforce participation. Some countries are experimenting with flexible retirement ages and encouraging older people to work part-time. For example, in the Netherlands, people can work part-time while receiving some Social Security benefits. This approach can reduce the strain on Social Security systems and allow older workers to stay active and engaged. However, flexible retirement requires supportive workplace policies, such as accommodations for older workers, and it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Improving gender equality in the workforce. Increasing workforce participation among women can also help fund Social Security. In many countries, women are underrepresented in the workforce, often due to caregiving responsibilities. By implementing policies that support working parents, like affordable childcare and parental leave, countries can encourage more women to join and remain in the workforce, boosting Social Security contributions. Economic growth strategies. A strong economy is one of the best ways to support Social Security. When economies grow, more money is available to fund social programs. Governments can invest in education, infrastructure, and innovation to drive economic growth. While economic growth is not guaranteed and can be affected by global events, it remains a critical factor in the sustainability of Social Security. Each of these solutions has potential, but they are more complex fixes. They require cooperation, long-term planning, and society's willingness to adapt to new realities. Still, they hope that Social Security can continue supporting future generations. Number 5. The impact. The future of Social Security is not just a concern for those nearing retirement. It's an issue that affects everyone, from young workers to families and communities. Social Security is vital in maintaining social stability, preventing poverty, and supporting people through life's ups and downs. Here's why this matters. For young workers, today's young workers are tomorrow's retirees. They are paying for Social Security now, expecting to benefit when they're old. However, there is an indication that it may soon become unmanageable. And if this happens, they may have to over-rely on their savings, which might not be well liked by most earners, most often the low-wage earners. People feel comfortable and secure because there will be Social Security when they are in their 50s and older. For families and communities, Social Security benefits individuals and supports entire families. For example, when an elderly family member receives Social Security, it eases the financial burden on their children, who might otherwise have to provide for them. Social Security can also provide disability and survivor benefits, protecting families from financial hardship when unexpected events occur. For people in developing countries, Social Security can be a lifeline in developing countries with higher poverty rates. For many, it is the only source of income in old age or during times of disability. If these programs struggle, it could lead to increased poverty and inequality. Expanding Social Security coverage in these regions is crucial for improving quality of life and reducing economic disparities. For national stability, Social Security contributes to a stable society. When people know they have a safety net, they are more likely to spend, invest, and participate in the economy. A solid Social Security system can reduce poverty, support consumer spending, and promote social cohesion. Without Social Security, societies would face greater inequality and hardship. Older adults might struggle to afford basic needs like food and health care. Disabled individuals could be left without support, and families could face overwhelming financial challenges. Social Security is more than an economic program. It reflects a society's commitment to care for its people. Part 6. Conclusion and Call to Action. Social Security is an umbrella that touches every individual in society worldwide. However, it depends on populations starting to age, escalating expenses, and even economic changes that make the future of Social Security questionable. That would mark the 20-year era as a catalyst. Therefore, governments, communities, and individuals must support Social Security. Today's decisions are creating the future for people and deciding whether Social Security will be able to pay people the amount they expect.